for innovative projects, programs, and events for the Latino community. LEAD's impact and success is grounded on solid research, collaboration, participation, and outreach. LEAD's marquee event, the annual Latino Education Advocacy Day Summit, draws tens of thousands of people in person and watching from around the world. The event tackles issues specific to Latinos and showcases working solutions from around the nation. LEAD also addresses local issues at the Feria Educativa College and Career Fair to promote college-going opportunities for local Latino families. The LEAD organization depends on significant participation and partnerships in the region and nationally, and strong interactive connections with Latino networks in the U.S. and Latin America, and with indigenous peoples throughout the world. The various LEAD networks agree there are important issues that directly or indirectly affect higher education institutions and the multiple communities they straddle. Those issues require colleges and universities to do the action work that is most relevant for their respective local communities, and in such a way that they can be used to inform and shape policy. Put simply, the LEAD movement engages the Latino community, and the singular most achievable solution to our educational dilemma lies in community activism and democratic participation. Netroots is one way to describe the LEAD organization's methods of awareness raising, education, promotion, advocacy, activism, analysis, discussion, critique, and dissemination of educational issues that impact Latinos. The word is a combination of internet and grassroots, reflecting the technological innovations, participatory democracy, and campaign-oriented activities that set LEAD's techniques apart from other forms of education and advocacy.
Are you ready to make a difference in the Latino community? Are you ready to connect with and be part of Latino educational leadership? Are you ready to find cross-sector solutions to improve the education and lives of all students?
Raise your hand, step in, and get involved.
Please join us as we convene those sharing a common interest and commitment to educational issues that impact Latinos.
Ali Sahabi has influenced a generation of builders, architects, and government leaders with his vision of the future. He has spent a lifetime enhancing the quality of life in the communities he serves.
There is a
his
huge crowd
influence has
already. If we could
transformed
just
much
kind
of
of hear the
Southern
crowd,
California,
just give a little bit of,
inspiring
hey,
clean,
we're here.
green
Are you here?
And demonstrating a lifelong commitment.
It's the morning. We're getting started. That's a fresh start. So we're all getting really excited. There's a huge,
just a hole in the ground,
honoree today.
a beautiful legacy
that I know we're gonna
that will be forever there.
Very, let's put it
Something
this way.
that
I
you
think it's
brought
probably
to the
gonna
city of
be
Corona and to
having
our
a lot of
region,
people go,
and I
"Oh
want to
my
thank
God,
you for
can I
that.
have your autograph?" I don't know
As
who's giving
president of
autographs. Does
SE
everyone know who's going to be here today? Yeah, see, they already know. They said it. Cheech Marin. Cheech is going to be here in the house, right here at Cal State University, San Bernardino, because of an amazing thing that he's going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about that and so much more. There are panelists all day. And the whole thing of this event is, well, let's put it this way. I've been part of this event since 2010. Can't believe it's been that far back. But when we got brought in, it was going to be something that they thought, okay, we could do maybe a few hundred people that would maybe, be able to speak about something that's very important to the hearts of people, especially the Latino people. Those that are wanting to get education out there and those that want to get the education kind of met to the right people. And I can say without a doubt, we have done a lot each and every year, brought on so many great people, some great, wonderful, we'll call them futurists, leaders in the community, one of which I can remember, Dolores Huerta, which was with us years back, and she shared her experience. And I will say this, I kind of grew up in the area of LA, and I got a lot of information with, let's put it this way, the public school system. We all know it, we love it, but sometimes you don't know what happens in your history of culture. And that's something that I know we'll be discussing today, which is very important, especially to the community that happen to be Latino. I know there's a lot of Latinas in the house, a lot of Latinos. Can we hear you? Can you say hello? There they are. Yep, they're filtering in right now as we speak. And we're excited about that because we're excited about the whole day. We've got people that are understanding the need, not just for education, but also, let's put it this way, for people that need to understand that, well, everyone matters. You know, we live in the U.S., and thankfully this is being transmitted around the world thanks to our friends at YouTube, thanks to our friends at Facebook. We thank you very much. Also, Twitter, you may be following us on that. You can retweet us. Follow us at LeadCSUSB. You can find us there on Twitter. Do a little hashtag LeadTwenty22. Can't believe it's 2022 since 2010. But we've been at it, but I gotta say, the one who's really been at it is Dr. Enrique Murillo, who actually put together a handbook. And in that handbook, he said, guys, we need to A, get along, and B, we need to get this education out because there's so many kind of squashing it. And they're squashing it in a way that people just kind of go, okay, do you matter? And we say, yeah, we matter. We're in engineering, we're in science, we're in technology, we're in things that matter for the future. And right now, I mean, I do the news every single day on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. And I can tell you right now, we are going through one of the worst things. Pandemic, still here, right? Did you get your shot? And then we're going through something that we talked about in 2010, and people said, it's not a thing, called climate change. And now we see that happening. Well, who are we going to look to for the future of getting these things kind of help for the planet? Honestly, our youth. Our youth today are getting the education and the science and the, well, let's put it this way. They're putting the science out there that is right. They're seeing in their lifetime the things that people said isn't a thing. Let's put it this way. This place here, San Bernardino, actually got flooded because there was a huge storm. Right now in Florida, there's a huge storm. They would say even a category, well, they're saying 4 or 5, 250-mile-per-hour winds. Have you ever heard of that? Usually they top at 100 and what? 80, 190, 250. So the earth is sick. Okay, there's been about 50-some volcanoes around the world. Everybody remembers Tonga. Well, the kids of today who happen to be Latino, Latina, and well, anything and everything, because let's face it, we all get mixed families, right? So the reality is we live on this world, and the reality is we want to be seen as equal because we all have a brain. We all have the mind, and we all have something that we honestly sometimes are not understood by some who kind of push down, hey, you happen to be that? Do you have your card? Excuse me, do we live on a planet? Yes. Do we want to live on this planet forever? Yes. And is it sick? Yes. Do we have technology in the minds of the youth today, even of those that are going to school right now? And, you know, last night I heard someone who got her doctorate's degree. She had her master's degree, again, thanks to the people here at Cal State University San Bernardino. And I could tell you, well, let me put it this way. If the earth is sick, who do we need to help everyone? The people of today. And that really is what, again, the Latino Education and Advocacy Day is about. It's about the history of what the Latino and Latina have had to deal with in the past. We're going to hear a lot about that in a special event, especially early morning and early afternoon. So we want you to participate throughout it all throughout the day. All you have to do is comment on social media. Maybe if you have a question, we may ask it during the questionnaire time. But what I challenge each and every one who's tuning in today, and maybe you're looking at the rebroadcast, because this will be up for you to watch even later, is this. Remember, if we're on a world together and we're born on this earth, are the things that we are, well, let's put it this way, the things that are impacting the world right now, are they going to impact the world forever? And I will say this, the people of today are thinking, how can we make, well, the things that we already have better? I'll give you an example. Right now, we're paying top dollar on oil. We're paying, what, $6 here in San Bernardino? It's going up maybe to $8 every now and then, depending on who's kind of at the throttle, right? But the people today can think about how can we introduce technology like, well, there's hydro. No one's talking about it. But the kids of today can go here to San Bernardino, get the education, and understand that, guess what? They can, that's actually someone very important. She sang a great thing last night, so we'll hear her a little bit later. But the great thing is we all have the ability to share information. And here at Cal State University San Bernardino, they're actually able to do that. The great thing is Enrique has been able to put so many things together with a great team. I can tell you there is a great team that do everything every single day all throughout the year to get started for this big event. Now, In past years, we actually had it in March. If you remember, anytime I ever broadcast this on my own channels on social or on the radio, I always say, hey, tune in to the Latino Education Advocacy Day, also known as LEAD. Okay, why lead? Because, well, you gotta lead with people that make sense. Do these people make sense? Yes. And are they seeing what's happening in the world? Some are not, because they don't watch the news. But if you watch the news and you watch that our planet is suffering, people in like Europe or Italy. I have a friend right now who's actually in Europe, and there's a huge storm. But the storm, we go, oh, that's always a thing. Except now they're worse. Why are they worse? I mentioned the volcanoes earlier. I talked to some very smart biologists and smart scientists at other universities, because that's the great thing about LEAD. LEAD shares the information not just with San Bernardino, but with the rest of the world. Dr. Enrique Murillo has a great handbook. You got to check it out. And in there, he has a lot of participating, including in this one, a lot of participating partners is what we'll call them, that are all other colleges or universities. And these universities are all sharing the information with their kids, and they're actually giving them credit for tuning in. How cool is that? Because they want them getting the information that they need or the education that they need. There are so many people squashing that information, and I say, why squash it when you can share? These kids are vibrant. They're ready to go. Let's put it this way. Sometimes people kind of squash what they think they know. These kids are learning firsthand, what is it we can do now? And that's what the whole university, San Bernardino, is able to do for the kids here. Now, there are high school kids here going, do I want to go here? Do I want to get the education here? What can I learn? What science can I learn? What technology can I learn? Or what can I just do for fun? Right? There's so many great opportunities here at San Bernardino, Cal State University, that I say, hey, get the information, apply for what you need when it comes to financial. And, maybe we could talk to the governor and say, Governor, we need the smart minds of today to make sense for everyone. What do you think? I think we should do that. Yes. Speaking of which, we've got some really good people coming up around the corner. And there's, in fact, some people getting ready to kind of stream. But, again, what I want to share with you really quick is this. You gotta be prepared for anything and everything, especially when we're broadcasting, okay? Because we do a lot of things behind the scenes. And sometimes we even pull people in front. Are we ready to go?
Yeah, we're ready to go. Yeah.
That was early. Wow, I didn't know we were ready to go. Okay. Oh, we got a great performance coming up. Here it is. Check it out.
Buenos días a todos. ¿Cómo están? Con mucho cariño desde México. Va el pastor con su rebaño al despuntar la mañana, bajando por el sendero de la sierra a la pradera. Va musitando sus quejas con su flautín de carrizo, seguido por sus ovejas como si fuera un hechizo. Y el flautín del pastor que al arriar canta así. El pastor ya va de vuelta, pues el sol se está ocultando, va subiendo por la cuesta para guardar su rebaño. Con su flautín va llamando una a una sus ovejas y les va comunicando sus cosas y sus tristezas. Y el flautín que al arriar canta así.
The lead event.
Muchas gracias.
The Latino Education Advocacy Days event.
Thank you so much.
Great event. And I can tell you right now, the performer right now, whether you heard him or not,
Bueno,
is amazing.
la siguiente canción,
We gotta get his,
con mucho cariño para todos ustedes.
we make sure his Instagram as well. Follow us right there. All the social media handles you can find on the link provided. Also, if you want to donate, you can do so right there. Just click on the link. All of this is supported by donations. There's a lot of sponsors that take a part of this, some of which we want to give a little bit of acknowledgement to because they do a lot. And we've got people that actually rebroadcast to get this information out. NPR actually had some information sent out there with Dr. Enrique Murillo about the importance of education and, of course, literacy when it comes to anyone and everyone, especially in the Latin field. Okay, we got a lot of information coming out soon. And we got some people actually going to join us as well. You know, I'm going to bring somebody here with us. I think she's about to perform. But I think, you really quick, why don't you come real quick? Really quick for the viewers here. Hi, how are you doing? Now, you actually had a really good performance yesterday, and I saw it. And you had like a saxophonist, you had like somebody do really cool stuff. Yeah. What was that about?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, just the whole music that you do. Yeah.
Oh, that's my band, Vicky Tafoya and the Big Beat. Yes, that's us.
So you got to check her out on social media. By the way, the music that you do, what do you call it?
It's like oldies, 50s R&B, doo-wop. Yeah.
All right, so check her out. How long have you been performing?
Forever, all my life.
Really?
Yes, and we have a new single out on Penrose, which is just a block away from the Cheech. And it's Penrose Recordings with Gabe Roth. And we have a new single out, and we will be selling some merch today.
Oh, nice. Okay. So if you're here, go ahead and check it out. Some people are tuning in on their phone device, but also hashtag Lead 2022, and we'll get started. All right.
My Instagram is Lashes and Lungs, and also Vicky Tafoya and the Big Beat.
Okay. You guys got to check her out. She's amazing. When do you perform today?
At 9, I'm going to do the national anthem, and then at noon, my band's going to be here.
Awesome. Okay. Looking forward to it. Okay. All right. So she's the one that crossed earlier. Let's see if she can cross again. Okay. Oh, she's going to go around. All right. So there's some really good stuff happening. The performances are happening live in person. So people are going, whoa. Did you guys see? Great movie, by the way. I just saw it on. Well, there were a couple of really good ones that Disney has put out. Which again, ABC. I kind of have to give a plug really quick. They have some great stuff when it comes to culture for the Latino culture, right? Or as many say, the well, let's just keep it Latin, right? The Latin world. We've got Latin America. We've got, well, anyone and everyone around the world needs to tune in to this because, well, we're doing some great things. And here's what I could say. There's so many good people behind the scenes that we want to give a shout out to them. We've got sponsors like Cardenas, which I can tell you right now, great food. Go get some great food there, especially if you have it in your own area. Also, we've got some people that actually are donating in person. We've got a $25 donation. If you want to donate to any of the event, you can always participate right there. And again, it's it's tax deductible. So that's even better. So go check out the link provided on our links and you can actually participate. Pepsi as well is a sponsor. We appreciate them. Not going to lie, I love it. Then there's the Puente Group. The Puente Group is here, a group of great people which actually get the word out when it comes to anything Latin. And you know, sometimes I get asked a lot by people, why Latin? And I say this, why not? Right? Doesn't it make sense? We're all on this earth, right? Why should people be put down like in 8th position when they should be with everyone, right? And that's kind of what I've seen in the, last few years. More like the last 5-6 years. Certain people go, wait, you should go back to where you came from. I say, well, I was actually born here, so I don't future, and that's what these people are, well, gonna, let's put it this way, keep going, okay? So we're getting excited for some of this stuff. Some of this we're gonna share with you, and some of this evidently we're not because of copyright. I know, Facebook, YouTube, they go, we can't share it. We don't have the copyright notice. So I say, all right, whatever. But let's see if we could kind of listen. That music, it's beautiful. All right, big shout out to some sponsors as well. The California-Mexico Center, the Chicano Latino Caucus of San Bernardino County, the Inland Empire Community News. Thank you so much for your donation and your willingness to help us out. There's also people that are providing food, like Genesis 2000 Bakery, great pan dulce. Oh my God, Mexican bread is at its finest. Coyote Dining as well. Shoot, the people here at Cal State University, San Bernardino, they're great and they're amazing. We have sponsors that donate above and beyond in the thousands. I can name one right now, which she's actually getting a facility named after her and her husband, J.R. Watson and Associates Development Corporation with Dr. Judy Rodriguez Watson. She's been a long-time contributor, some really good stuff that she and her family have done, and we appreciate that. We also appreciate the people that are in the community, like the Inland Empire magazine. We appreciate you for getting that information out. Also, our own, well, everyone, really. The reality is we're all wanting and needing more on this earth. So we say thank you to the big sponsors, especially in the gold sponsor, which is thousands of dollars, up to $10,000 to be very specific. AT&T, thank you for your contribution to this. NPR, thank you. KVCR 91.9. Also, of course, the California Teachers Association, we thank you. Then we have our platinum above the thousands, like 10 and above. And these are like places like The Sun, La Prensa, Southern California News Group. We've got individual people that really kind of say, look, what can we do to help out? And we want to say thank you, especially to the president of Cal State University, San Bernardino, Dr. Tomas Morales. We've had him here. He's actually in Washington right now, kind of discussing some very important things when it comes to schooling and education. So we're excited to hear what comes out of that. But in the meantime, we're probably going to be hearing from people that are going to be kind of in his place, so to speak, like Dr. Chinaka S. Damwachupu. I probably got that wrong. He'll correct me later. Then we've got the Information Technology Services, Dr. Sam Sudhakar. Also the Chancellor, who's Jolene Koster, who is part of the California State University Department of External Relations. Super excited about that. All right, there's a lot of things happening behind and in front of the scenes, but what, well, let's put it this way. The program is great, all right? It's going to start off with some information that I know you can use, and if you can use it, do so. Okay, you're going to love it. Also, here's what I can say. You guys are going to really, really want to tune into the afternoon session. There's some information that I know people are going to be like, what, after lunch? Nah, man, I'm done. And I'll say this right now, don't be done because you're going to enjoy it. There's a very interesting, let's put it this way, it could be a documentary. It might be a documentary, actually. And it's all about the history, social justice at home, the Chicano moratorium, and the power of protest. And I know when we had a moratorium, you're thinking, what, another moratorium? Like we don't have to pay? It's a completely different moratorium. Moratorium, I think, has like different meanings. But in that, the National Chicano Moratorium Committee against certain things was a movement of basically people against war. And when you put people against war, sometimes you get, it depends on the time, right? Like people right now, I'll give you an example, in Russia are saying we don't want to go to war, right? They don't want to be drafted. A lot of people in Russia right now are being drafted. Some of the news is out there about that. Other people are going, what? When did that happen? That's what we're going through right now, seriously. So when you have people like that going, hey, we don't want to be drafted, we don't want war, and you're a citizen of Russia, well, you got to say here in the States, what can we do to be understanding of them, the people, and not necessarily understanding of the leaders that put people in harm's way. It's the leaders that put people in harm's way, and that's what Russia's doing, and that's what we don't want to be a part of. So I will say, if you are someone like that, then you'll understand the particular event at 1:25 today. Make sure to set your clocks. If you take a break, make sure to come back on that. We'll still be streaming here, okay? So a lot of information there. Okay, I think we're getting started pretty soon with a pretty important event here. All right. I'm listening to the crowd waiting here. Okay, I'm just tuning in, waiting to see what they're going to say. But it looks like they're still getting ready there. Okay, so the march was held on August 29, 1970, but it's information that you're going to want to listen to because of some great stuff. It's going to be actually with some people, Richard Estrada, who is a really great guy, and he actually is part of some great people, also with Rosalio Urias Munoz, who's a journalist, and, well, let's put it this way. She does what she believes in. So here's what I want. I want people to understand there's a lot of stuff happening today. You're able to be part of it thanks to our great team behind the scenes. A big shout out to the entire broadcast team, also known as well, let's put it this way. They could do TV like the best of them. In fact, I think this is being broadcast again and again via certain channels, so we appreciate all those that are actually able to get the information out. Let me do some shout outs to those as well. And again, use the hashtag LEAD2022. If you maybe use your phone or your devices, you can do that, and you can actually make sure to kind of get the information out and say, hey, I'm here at LEAD2022. It's a big event, and I know you're going to appreciate it. We've got Telemundo 52, who actually has kind of said, look, we can help you guys out, get the information out. We appreciate you. We got PBS. Really appreciate PBS. SoCal especially. We got KVCR, FNX. We got ESNE. Also, we got TBC Plus. Love those guys. They do a lot of great programming there. NPR, Coyote Radio, Eleviso, awesome, great, awesome things going on there. We got La Prensa, we got Spectrum, we've also got, let's see, God, there's so many. The Hispanic Lifestyle, we love those guys. Richard Sandoval, great guy. We've got the people at, let's see, IECN, the Inland Empire Community News, and so much more. You can check it out all on the program right here. Here's what I can say. There are so many things happening that, well, let's put it this way. You're going to find information whether you like it or not, okay? Just let it roll. Give us a little like there. Give us a comment. Give us a heart if you can. If you get like angry or upset, don't use the angry emoji, okay? Because it sticks. People go, why are you mad? And I go, they're not mad. They're just mad at certain things that they find out about. It's called, weird people. So that's what I say. Be careful with that. All right, there's a lot of great things happening in the world. Like our broadcast engineer is saying, wait, we're going to do something. So again, like I said, anything and everything can happen. I know we're getting ready for something really good right here, right now. Okay, so if you're tuning in again, use the hashtag LEAD2022. It's the Latino Education and Advocacy Days. Check out what's next right here.
Muchas gracias.
Bueno. Hello. Okay, here I am. Thank you, Mario. Gracias, Luis. Luis, si puedes, vas a cantar ahorita una vez más, pero si puedes meterte aquí detrás, okay, por favor. Okay, let's hear it again for Luis. Okay. Okay, so first let me back up a little bit. Let's give a round of applause to Martin Espino. He was a gentleman that was out here making the sounds and playing out here in the lobby. So Martin, since 1968, Martin has been performing in stages all over the world. Very well-known, prominent musician who specializes in the ancient Mesoamerican and the Mexican musical instruments. And so he's a soloist, and also he has a group called Mexica. So that's him. And then, of course, you heard Luis Adrian Cruz. Luis Adrian Cruz is the innovator of cumbia opera. I don't know if you heard of a new genre called cumbia opera. You can go to YouTube, you can look up Cumbia Opera or Luis Adrian Cruz. He was on Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento. Anyway, he told you already. In 2013, he won the national award El Pergamino de Oro, so all the radio stations in Mexico, they have a consortium, and then they award every year a prominent musician, and so he won that award. That's in Mexico. It's a very prestigious. And anyways, and he told you at just a few years ago, at the age of 29, he won La Voz Mexico, which is a huge thing. So it's La Voz Mexico. So that's, yeah. Thank you. Okay, so anyways, at this moment, I want to do a land acknowledgement. Thank you. We wish to recognize and respect the local indigenous peoples, Serrano, Cahuilla, Cupeño, Tongva, Tatiavan, Chumash, Kumeyaay, and others from Southern California as the traditional and local stewards of these lands and the enduring relationship that exists between indigenous peoples and their traditional territories. So I want us today in this morning to reflect on land displacement and understand the issues of land displacement and how that plays into the struggles and the actions that we can take to support indigenous communities. And that's across the whole continent. So I'm not just speaking here because we ourselves are indigenous peoples of these lands, and this is our hemisphere, right? So as far as we believe we have the right to cross anywhere we want in our own hemisphere, and so we have to be mindful of that. And of course, this, for me specifically, the greater Mesoamerican and the maize or corn-based cultures, right? So migrants like our parents, great-grandparents, fleeing political and economic violence, and who only to face coloniality and racial domination here in the United States, that oftentimes here in this reality, they try to erase our indigeneity. So we struggle for our indigeneity as well so that doesn't get erased. So anyways, ya estando aquí, ustedes que ocupan traducción, acá atrás, a ver, levanten la mano, allá atrás si se ven, hay traducción para ustedes. Tienen audífonos y las señoras ahí les pueden ayudar. Les dan audífonos y les ayuda con la traducción. Okay? Are we good? Okay. All right, so at this point, I want to bring forth the Air Force Junior ROTC from West Covina High School for the presentation of colors under the direction of Jesus Acuña Perez, Captain, retired U.S. Air Force, Senior Aerospace Science Instructor, born in Tijuana, from Tijuas, and David Moroyoki, Master Sergeant, also retired U.S. Air Force, Aerospace Science, el sonoroense, el yaqui, que está aquí a un lado mío. Okay? Then after the captain, I thought you were gonna. Okay. After the captain, we're gonna have the U.S. National Anthem sung by Vicky Tafoya, lead singer of Vicky Tafoya. After Vicky, después de Vicky, vamos a tener Luis Adrian singing the Mexican National Anthem. So Luis, si nos reúne acá con nosotros, por favor, Luis Adrian. Gracias. And then after Luis, we're going to have the invocation offered by the very Reverend Monsignor Gerard Lopez. A ver, compa Monsignor. Gracias. Who served, he's my compa, so it's all right, I call him my compa. He's the vicar general for the Catholic Diocese of San Bernardino. Okay? So, ahí está, Capitán, all yours.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Muy buenos días. Good morning. It's an honor to be before you once again after we took a lull thanks to COVID. And so I think we've come back more motivated. As you could tell, our cadets are already up front, ready to go. They don't even need direction, right? But before I recite the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to recognize the people who make this possible each and every year. Para empezar, el Dr. Tomás Morales, who's not with us, and all the campus leaders, thank you so much. As well as our CEO, el único, el Dr. Enrique Murillo, mi primo, right? I want to, they didn't steal too much of my thunder last night at the dinner, and so it's a must that I recognize certain aspects of Dr. Murillo because he is an example to follow. Es un ejemplo a seguir. He's experienced some losses over this last time period, yet he continues marching forward. I take cues from him. You know, I've also had a loss, as well as maybe some of you have. And he teaches us that the show doesn't stop. You know, no matter how tragic our losses are, we must continue moving forward. We have a duty, we have an obligation, and I'll get to that in just a second. But, Dr. Murillo, muchas gracias por el ejemplo que nos da. Es realmente una inspiración. Movimiento y compromiso. Movimiento, to me, is movement. Movement is migration. Migration is life. As military air shows, the opposite of movement is a static display, one that just stands still. So when you go to an air show and you see a static displayed aircraft, you know that it's not going to be moving. It's going to be parked there. And it's detrimental to the aircraft because guess what happens over time if it just sits there? It begins to rust. So movement is life, and movement is migration, and migration is life. So that's the first portion. The second portion, compromiso, which is commitment. And I think we all owe a huge round of applause a nuestras madres, a nuestros padres, tíos, tías, y no se diga nuestros abuelos, who had a commitment from day one to make a better life for their families, for us. As some of you may know, I definitely wouldn't be here before you. My partner here, Sergeant Morioki, would not be here before you had it not been for those people. So the last part of the compromiso is just us exactly what we're doing right now. The commitment that we owe to our students, all the high schoolers, our cadets, our sons, our daughters, right? We need to continue marching forward. Education is the key. Enlightenment is the key. We no longer can stand in the background and expect mediocre resources, mediocre learning. I can tell you one quick example. Many years ago, I had a cadet here at Cal State San Bernardino who earned a scholarship to be an engineer for the Air Force, yet he couldn't pass his reading comprehension test. After 3 tries, he still couldn't pass. I don't blame that on the student. I blame that on our system. So we can do a much better job, and we will do a much better job. It is if each and every one of us contributes to that effort. So with that being said, if you don't mind, please stand up. Those in uniform, stand at attention, and the rest of you, please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, hi. Hello, my name is Vicky Tafoya, and later on my band will be playing, and today I'm going to sing the national anthem for you. And I'm really proud to be here. I want to add that. And thank you to Professor Murillo for inviting us. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we wash, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Good morning.
Himno nacional mexicano. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciño patria tus sienes de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, piensa, oh patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Patria, patria, tus hijos te juran exhalar en tus aras tu aliento. Si el clarín con su bélico acento nos convoca a lidiar con valor, para ti las guirnaldas de oliva, un recuerdo para ellos de gloria, un laurel para ti de victoria y un sepulcro para ellos de honor, un sepulcro para ellos de honor. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón.
Buenos dias, welcome, bienvenidos. We'll say a little prayer as we begin this really beautiful conference, but take a moment in silence. Pray in the heart that is in your life. The center of your heart is you and your community, so we'll just take this moment and say in silence and prayer. On this new day you give us, O Lord, we gather in peace and harmony to offer loving prayers for our young people, la futura generación. Protect them, sustain them, give them hope, and give them health. We give thanks for these 50 years of educational justice and equity, for the many leaders and role models, nuestras abuelitas y maestros, who sacrificed so much in the struggle, la lucha, to help us reach this summit here today. We ask that you bless this Cal State San Bernardino community, university community, especially our young people and students, their familias y sus profesores with good success, happiness, and everlasting health. And help us to be a people of movimiento y compromiso to create a much, much better world of peace, unity, inclusion, and everlasting love. Y que Dios y la Virgen nos bendiga siempre. Amén.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. At this moment in time, I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize someone very special here in the audience, which is a small smidge of change, but it's a big one. So I'm going to coin my niece, Larissa Castro, if you could please stand up. She's a Air Force ROTC college cadet here at Cal State San Bernardino, and she's trained to be a pilot. She's in charge of the junior General Military Corps cadets.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Gracias, Luis. Thank you, compa. Okay. We good over there? Okay. Cue video. At this time, we want to present to you our procession of elders. And we're just going to take a seat, and they're going to draw in for us. So thank you. Not yet, the video not yet. First is going to do a blessing.
social advocates, all of whom share a common interest and commitment to educational issues that impact our Chicano Latino community. Over the past few decades, Latinos have become the largest minority in the nation, with majority populations in many states and regions of the United States, and in some cases, the majority among school-aged children. In many ways, we are now a defining influence on U.S. culture and society. Latino workers also support many sectors of our economy, from local to global. Yet the strength of our schools and communities is difficult to evaluate without focusing on the educational achievements of Chicano Latino students. Today, we honor the outspoken women and men who fought for justice, who established a powerful social, political, and cultural movement that changed the lives of millions of Latinos and inspired generations of future activists. Today, we honor the movement elders, los mayores del movimiento.
The last 50 years. 50 years ago, brave, bold women and men came out of the barrios, fields, factories, and schools to forge a new movement. And although the struggle for social justice and educational rights did not initiate in the 1960s, this more radical Chicano movement was qualitatively different from that of previous generations.
El movimiento embraced a wide range of urgent issues, including the restoration of land grants, farm workers' rights, educational reforms, voting and political rights, and the emerging awareness of collective history. The socially entrenched negative stereotypes of Mexican Americans in the mass media and discrimination in public and private institutions were also being addressed.
A new political consciousness was emerging that included a stronger sense of ethnic solidarity, breaking the shackles of subordinated status in U.S. society, and a greater determination to gain political strength and representation. Creatively, this was also a highly productive period for literature and the arts, and helped cement the validation of our rich Mexican-American ethnicity and cultural traditions.
Who are we? We are that generation of 50 years ago whose civic and creative actions stood out from the past.
At the time, most people of Mexican descent resisted calling themselves Chicanos. That term was a derogatory label for the sons and daughters of Mexican migrants.
However, many of our generation embraced being called Chicano and used it as a symbol of ethnic pride, adopting many of the principles of Chicanismo:
self-respect,
self-determination,
pride, and cultural rebirth.
In short, our movimiento aspired to economic, social, and political equality. We planned and organized many legal actions and legislation, strikes, huelgas, civil rights protests, insurrections, levantamientos, mass rallies, y marchas on both sides of the U.S.-Mexico border. Among the most notable demonstrations were the LA walkouts and numerous others throughout the U.S. There was the Tlatelolco massacre in Mexico City, el Plan Espiritual de Aztlán, el Plan de Santa Bárbara, and the creation of Chicano-Chicana Studies. There was the Bilingual Education Act of Title VII, and the initiation of student and youth activist groups like MAYO, the Mexican-American Youth Organization, the United Mexican-American Students, later merged as MECHA, the Brown Berets, y La Raza Unida. I remember the Chicano moratorium against the Vietnam War and the founding of the Chicano Press Association. We also started Católicos por la Raza and la Comisión Femenil Mexicana Nacional. We had big victories with the National Farm Workers Association that later became known as United Farm Workers, the UFW.
We also created La Alancia Federal de Mercedes and important organizations such as the Southwest Voter Registration Education Project, the Mexican-American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, the Southwest Council of la Raza,
and we helped strengthen organizations that came before us, like MAPA,
the democratic process. We must position ourselves to shape the political landscape through voting and increased civic engagement.
We will push ourselves and others through the educational pipeline. We will increase the college readiness and success of our people.
We will fill the ranks in our schools, institutions, colleges, and universities, and become the future faculty, staff, and administrators, and reflect our country's growing ethnic and cultural diversity.
We are strong and accept the mission to make a powerful change in our communities, a change that requires courage, social action, public service, and leadership.
Pass the baton.
Pass the protest signs.
We are ready.
Jóvenes, take the protest signs from the elder. Take over. Jóvenes, take over. All you jóvenes, all you young people, stand up if you're committed to the struggle. Stand up, all you young people. Stand up if you commit yourself. Chicano, 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 Chicana, que vive la mujer, que vive la mujer, que viven los mártires, que viven los héroes, que viven los activistas. To the brave and bold camaradas who lost their lives, to those who came out of the barrios, the factories, and the schools, and the fields to create this movimiento. Presente. Presente. To those who sacrificed their time, careers, and for too many, their lives. Presente. To the our mothers, our fathers, our spouses, all our family, our abuelitos, who may not have been part of organizations, but they were crucial to our lives. They made our lives easier so we can help the next generation. Presente. To the unnamed, unrecognized, and the unknown. Presente. ¿Se puede? ¿Se puede? ¿Se pudo? Gracias. Thank you for giving of your commitment to the elders, for dedicating your lives to the struggle. Thank you. And thank you for jóvenes. We want you to step up. A lot of our elders have passed on in the last few years, if you noticed. We need your young people to start taking over, right? We need you now to step in and get involved. So, gracias. Ya se pueden salir, gracias. Ya se pueden. that door to the left over there. Yes, there you go. Thank you. Okay, bienvenidos de nuevo for our annual observance of Latino Education Advocacy Days 2022. It's been a rough 2.5 years, 3 years that has gotten us here. But here we go. Once again, we made it. Thank you all, the many hundreds of you who are going to come in throughout the whole day, and of course the many thousands watching us or listening to us. We have more than 1,700 viewing sites across 43 countries right now tuning in over here. In the last few years, we were able to recruit 94 new viewing sites. 51 of those 94 sites are high schools. So we have 51 high schools watching us online. They're learning about the Chicano movement. They're learning about the Chicano movement in their courses, in their curriculum. They're watching movies, and then they're here today. So actually the ones here today, that's been part of the curriculum. So the high school students that we have here in person, they've been learning about the movimiento, and now they're here to hear firsthand from the people who lived the movimiento. So that's good. Okay. Thank you to the CSUSB Academic Technologies and Innovation for streaming us live across the internet. So thank you once again. Our red carpet host, our red carpet host, Aaron Sanchez. I think he's there. I don't know if I can't see him there. Okay, so at any time you can watch this over YouTube, our Facebook, and any of the other social media. Okay. At this time, I want to give a shout out to our 2022 social media ambassadors, the Puente Project. So where are our Puentistas here today? Over there. Thank you. Thank you for the gift. If you see, I'm wearing the gift from last night. So gracias. Thank you. All right. Again, thanks to the Information Technology Services, the great work of James Trotter and Jackway Patterson. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have, let me see, among our media partners, we have CNBC News Radio, our local affiliate, KCAA, that's broadcasting. We have KPFK, Enfoque Latino. Right now we're being heard over Radio Bilingüe, so it's the national Radio Bilingüe. We have NPR, PBS, FNX, KVCR, right? We have all these folks. Anyways, it's in your program. You can see all the media partners and so forth. Okay, so before we move on, I want to introduce a few distinguished folks who may or may not be here, but nevertheless, I want to thank them for being here. There's one donor in particular, Mr. Ali Sahabi. Did you know if Ali made it today? No, today. Okay, so anyways, shout out to you. You'll see the broadcast later. We'll send you the broadcast. So thank you, Ali. Thank you to the Office of the Chancellor, Office of the President, the whole entire cabinet, the divisions, our College of Education, Office of the Dean, and all the numerous colleges across campus. Thank you to Santos Manuel Student Union, the facilities management where we're at. We're in a new building, right? We had a little bit of a trouble a couple weeks ago because of the flood, so we had to shift some things around, but we're here. We didn't cancel. So I want to thank the over 900 organizers across the U.S. and worldwide who are organizing. So we're here, but in other places around the U.S., Latin America, Mexico and Latin America, there are groups of people, anywhere from 5 to 20 to maybe 100 people watching us. So they're in their group watching online. So 900 organizers all together who put that together. Last but not least, thank you to our planning committee. So if you are a member of the planning committee advisors or executive council or today's production staff, if you could stand up, we want to give you a round of applause. Okay. If they're not in the room, it's because they're out there working. Okay, so we're a volunteer organization, so if they're not here, it's because they're out there doing the work. Okay. We have welcome remarks via video from Dr. Jolene Kester, Interim Chancellor of the CSU, the California State University System. So while she's the second woman in California State University history to lead the 23 university system, Jolene Kester, PhD, is no newcomer to the CSU. Her long and distinguished career at the university has spanned decades, from her 17 years at Sacramento State to her 11 years as president of Cal State University Northridge, and more. So Dr. Kester began her role as the interim chancellor in May 1st of this year, and we expect her appointment to last at least for 12 months. So with that, we have a video message from Dr. Kester.
Chancellor for the California State University. It's my distinct honor, along with President Tomas Morales, to welcome you to Cal State San Bernardino's 11th Annual Latino Education and Advocacy Days Summit. After several years of postponements due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we're thrilled to resume this vitally important event. Now more than ever, our commitment to the well-being, academic success, and the social mobility of Latino students is critical. Indeed, it's essential as we work to move our state and nation forward. As the largest, most diverse, and most consequential public university system in this country, the CSU is committed to ensuring that more students from every background have the opportunity to earn the lifelong, life-transforming benefits of a Cal State degree. I'm proud to report that graduation rates are at an all-time high. And as our university continues to invest in strategies to raise our students' success measures even higher and to eliminate equity gaps. The CSU's mission aligns perfectly with LEAD's theme this year, Movimiento e Compromiso, 50 years of challenges, accomplishments, and the continuing quest for educational equity. As we look back 5 decades, we can see the impact that the student movements of the 1960s and 70s had on college campuses in the CSU and across the country. Student leaders pushed for civil rights, social justice, empowerment. Those times were cauldrons of intense conversation, demonstration, and debate. The campus protests were also an important opportunity for multiple perspectives to be considered. They were places where courageous individuals demanded to be heard, and in the process forged a more inclusive society. Some of the most significant and meaningful progress was ushered in by the Chicano movement, and today Latinos have emerged as the largest minority in the nation, and in some cases, the majority demographic among school-aged children. Latinos are leaders at every level of government, and Latino workers are the backbone for many sectors of our economy. Yet to ensure the future progress of the Latino community, we must join together to focus on the educational outcomes of Latino students. To be sure, we've made great strides, but much remains to be done. The CSU, like LEAD, is committed to closing gaps in educational opportunity and achievement. And together, with an emphasis on education, research, discovery, curiosity, critical thinking, and the free and respectful exchange of ideas, I know we can bridge those gaps. At the forefront of this effort is Dr. Enrique Murillo, Jr., LEAD's founder, and he works with incredible LEAD staff and volunteers. Thank you for your remarkable and committed work over the past 11 years. I wish all of you the very best this week as we come together to affirm our shared values, our mission, and our optimism, and together to chart a path forward toward a brighter future for us all. Thank you, and again, welcome.
Thank you, Chancellor Kester. Next, we have another video message from our campus president, Dr. Tomas Morales. He couldn't join us this morning, but he recorded these welcome remarks. During his tenure here, President Morales has overseen sustained growth in overall enrollment, the number of degrees awarded, community engagement, and university fundraising. The face of the institution is also expanding its 5-year strategic plan. It's all well underway. So with that, let's watch the video from President Morales.
On behalf of the students, faculty, and staff at California State University, San Bernardino, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to today's long-delayed event. We live in challenging times, but I am enormously grateful that I can finally state it is our honor to host the 11th annual LEAD. This year's theme, Movimiento y Compromiso, 50 years of challenges, accomplishments, and the continuing quest for educational equity, speaks directly to the purpose and commitment of LEAD here at CSUSB. We are extremely proud to welcome respected actor, director, comedian, author, and supporter of the arts, as demonstrated by his magnificent new museum in Riverside, Richard Anthony Cheech Marin, as this year's Padrino de Honor. Cal State San Bernardino is a university community of over 19,000 students. Our faculty are truly outstanding in their respective academic disciplines, and our staff are second to none in their commitment to our student success. In fact, student success is at the heart of all that we do here at our diverse and inclusive Hispanic serving institution. Let me underscore, we are proud to embed the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion into all initiatives, activities, and operations of our university. Increasing the number of Mexican American and other Latino children who aspire to attend college is one of LEAD's key goals. It is vital that parents, educators, and community organizations work together to increase the number of Latinos who graduate from high school and are admitted to and graduate from college. We have to compel students to take the A through G pre-college curriculum beginning in the 9th grade, including 4 years of English and math, so that they are ready to begin taking college-level courses when they begin their undergraduate studies. And we must encourage those who want to study science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Students need guidance and support in applying for financial aid and other scholarships. A college education is essential in today's society. To any high school students in attendance, please know that this is your university. I look forward to personally welcoming each of you to CSUSB when you graduate. My thanks to Professor Enrique Murillo and all the CSUSB volunteers who dedicated their time to make this year's LEAD event a tremendous success. Once again, welcome to all who are participating. I know you will have an impactful and content-filled LEAD.
Thank you, President Morales. Okay, so next I'd like to present Dr. Robert J. Nava, Vice President for Advancement and Executive Director of the CSUSB Philanthropic Foundation here at Cal State, San Bernardino. Vice President Nava has spent 37 years plus, or más, maybe, in higher education and particularly advancement leadership roles, including 18 years in the inland region prior to now. He most recently served as Vice President for University Advancement at San Francisco State University, and before that at the University of Texas, El Paso. And he also enjoyed a very long and distinguished tenure at UC Riverside. So, con eso, let me say a couple things. He is one of the co-founders of the Latino Network in Riverside. He has also been a volunteer for the Chicano Latino Youth Leadership Project, and for many years has also served on the advisory board for the Puente Project. So, damas y caballeros, Dr. Nava.
Gracias, Profesor Murillo. Buenos días. Boy, I tell you, as I'm feeling a lot of emotion. Are you feeling that? A lot of pride, emotion, you know, where we've been, but more importantly, where we're going. So I had to share with you, compañeros, that again, today I'm feeling very brown and very proud. So thank you, Professor Murillo. ¿Verdad? You know, I was going to bring brief greetings on behalf of El Jefe, the president of the university, Dr. Tomas Morales, but you heard Tomas's message. But let me just say that Tomas is not with us today because he is in Washington, D.C. He had a meeting there with the chancellor and several other of our CSU presidents. They were meeting with Excelencia to talk about the work that needs to continue to provide services to our Chicano Latino students and all of our underserved students across the system. So as we speak, I believe that Tomas is on a flight back home, but he brings un abrazo para todos. So I just wanted you to know that Tomas is out of the area, and that's why he's not with us. But I also want to mention that President Morales is also a major financial supporter, along with the cabinet of LEAD and all the great work that Professor Murillo does. I'd like to take a moment, and perhaps there'll be more introductions about this incredible individual later, and we have a room full of transformational leaders, mujeres, all the vatos that are here, everyone, our students, right? But I did want to also acknowledge Dr. Sai Obrego, who is with us right now. And let me just tell you, friends, Sai, very distinguished career in student services. He retired after many years as the Vice President of Student Services at Cal State Fullerton. And after his retirement, the governor appointed him to serve on the Cal State University Board of Trustees. So Sai was at that table with the chancellor, with the trustees, with all the presidents, addressing the needs of all of our students, the 480,000 plus students that CSU serves. But Sai was also directly at the table in addressing the issue of diversity, inclusion, including diversifying the gender, the race, ethnicity of the CSU presidents. So Sai, would you just stand for just a moment, please? Thank you, brother. We'll hear more from Dr. Oviedo a little bit later. Yeah, very briefly, Enrique, I just wanted to again say to you, for your leadership, Enrique, what you do not only in the classroom, as a researcher, your leadership of our doctoral program that has prepared so many of our educational leaders, and you continue to do that, but the work that you do in the classroom and outside of the classroom is transformative for our communities. So Enrique, with you, Patricia, Aguilera, and all the staff that make this event possible every year is truly inspiring, and it's a labor of love of what you do. And I hope you know how much you're loved by everyone that you touch in your work as well. ¿Que no? Órale. We'll hear more from Enrique. Hey, I want to tell you one thing real quick, because I was brought up in El Paso, Texas, and Juarez. El Chuco. Any Tejanos out here? Hey, if you're not from El Paso, there's a good chance that your parents or abuelitos were from El Paso, Juarez, or Chihuahua, ¿verdad? Yeah, so Hey, so I want to just share with you, my friends, I want to share with you that just sitting in this room and hearing the term Chicano, Chicana, to me so inspiring because we don't hear that term as much anymore. Personally, professionally, I identify as a Chicano, both politically, as a human being, as a man. So I was just very encouraged again, that we have this term and it inspires me. Last night, Dr. Murillo honored a number of individuals as madrinas and padrinos of LEAD. And Enrique, thank you for inducting me as a padrino. And we know in our community, right, when you're asked to be a padrino or a madrina, you're being elevated to the role of family, to familia, right? It's a very special honor. So now that makes us compadres, I think, right, Enrique? No, somos compas. Okay, so thank you for that. Finally, I just want to say the work that LEAD does in the work of our faculty and our staff, our alumni, is really focused on uplifting our region, the Inland Empire, both San Bernardino, Riverside, but out in the Coachella Valley, because we have a great campus out in Coachella Valley. They're doing great work providing access to the students, the communities, the elders out in the Coachella Valley. And so the synergy between our two campuses and the leadership of President Morales, our provost, Rafiq Mohammed, our deans and our faculty, we're doing important work. And last year, this campus was recognized nationally as being number 7 in the country for social mobility, the Social Mobility Index, number 7 in the country out of 1,500. So, estudiantes, what does that mean? That means that our campus, when we bring students in, many of our students come from maybe first generation, perhaps from an immigrant family, right? The experience of the Chicano Latino student is one of struggle. But what this means is that when you admit the students, you prepare them, graduate them, and then they go on to do great work, whether it's in the professions, as teachers, community organizers, whatever the dream is, it uplifts that individual in the family to a new level of social mobility. So this campus is ranked number 7 in the country, and we have a number of other CSU campuses also that have high rankings. What do you think about that? Hey, and that doesn't happen without the faculty, doesn't happen without the leadership supporting those students. Well, and I'm going to close by just saying this: when the entertainment that we've been having, the incredible talent, thank you. And when I was listening to El Rey, when Jose Alfredo Jimenez was doing his beautiful music, when he was writing El Rey, I think he was thinking about people like Enrique Murillo. Brother, I think he... que no, El Rey, el mero fregón. Hey, there was another word I was going to use, but I won't use that word right now. Fregón is a good description, porque tiene fuego este hermano, ¿no? And I'm going to close by just saying and Enrique, if you would allow me, Enrique was mentioning Mr. Ali Sahabi, just an incredible friend. He's a real estate developer and a very generous philanthropist. But Enrique and his team cannot do this work every year with just the resources that the university is able to provide. It takes more than that. It takes investors, it takes individuals that will provide grants to help lead so we can do this incredible work. So Mr. Sahabi was a very generous supporter and continues to be. He was with us last night at the dinner. He's based out of Los Angeles County. But also, you'll hear later from a great friend, Judy Watson. And I wanted just to share with our colleagues who may not be aware, but last spring, Judy Watson and her husband, Jim Watson, who have been incredible friends of our university for many years. And when you go into the College of Education, you see the Watson Associates Literacy Center. You see the art that they've supported. They're just incredible champions. And Judy and Jim, they last year they made a very large, generous gift to our dean and to the College of Education to support the work that all of our faculty are doing to prepare education leaders and to prepare all of the students that come in not only through the College of Education, but across the campus. So on November 1st, we are going to have, the dean has organized a ceremony where we're going to unveil the name on the beautiful College of Education building. It will be named the James R. and Judy Rodriguez Watson College of Education. What do you think about that? Yeah. And you know, esta familia, Judy was the first in her family to go to college. She went to UC Irvine. Jim went to our other great campus, San Jose State University. They live out in Orange County, but their investment is here at Cal State San Bernardino because they see the impact that we're making. So November 1st, a big celebration, and you're going to see this incredible name. But Jim and Judy wanted Judy's maiden name, Rodriguez, on that building so that our students will see, Orale, Rodriguez, you know, right? Finally, and our trustee will correct me on this one, but as we understand, this is the first academic college and building that actually has a Latina surname on it, or a Latino surname. So we're very proud of that as well. And with that, I'm just going to close by saying to everyone, thank you. I look forward to the sessions. I feel very energized. Listening, I'm like ready to get back out in the streets if we have to. What do you think? And you know what? And we may have to. Gracias. Profesor, gracias.
Gracias, Robert. We've known you as being a very committed custodian of the university. When I say custodian, I mean taking care of, right? Taking care of business. So he's been with us for I don't know how many years now. Five. Yes, he's really helped change the university for the better. So ándale, gracias. Okay, next I want to present Dr. Chinaka Domachukwu, who is, I say the new dean, but only because, but really he's going on 2.5, 3 years now. Fourth year, look at that, fourth year. We postponed this lead conference a few times, so, but at the time the script was written, he was brand new, so that's why it says here, brand new. Anyways, he's been working hard since he's been here, and right away COVID hit, so he had to pivot like the rest of us and make it happen, and he made it happen. And he's going to share a little bit more about our College of Education, but he's really done a lot in the short time he's been here to keep our College of Education a leader in the region and in the nation. And we just moved up to the national level. Maybe he'll say, I don't know if that's if you can mention that, but we moved up from the regional to now the national ranking, our university, and particular the contributions from our College of Education with our doctoral program. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, Dean Domachukwu.
Thank you, and I'm glad that Enrique, you said it right, Domachukwu. For those who struggle to say the long name, it's only 4 syllables. It's Domachukwu. I'm taking the opportunity to teach it everywhere I go because people want to say it, but sometimes they are bashful. It's indeed an honor to be here this morning to be part of this experience. I must confess that as everything was happening, I felt so much like I belong to this group. And the reason is because the struggle is not an exclusively Latino experience. It has been part of the Black experience for generations. And so we are on this together. It's a journey that we've all been together on it for generations. And when somebody made a reference to the fact that movement is life, migration is life, and it's the nature of human beings to move from place to place. And so I'm excited to be part of what is happening here. It is indeed an honor for me to be the Dean of the James R. Watson and Judy Rodriguez Watson College of Education. I want to say it right. especially because Judy is here and she's listening. But they have been great allies of the College of Education for many years. And for them to actually to make the decision to make this commitment under my watch is a vote of confidence in my leadership. And I really appreciate it. Let's give the Rodriguez and Watsons a round of applause. And I want to say thank you to Enrique for the work he's doing. LEAD is not his primary portfolio. Some of you may know LEAD is a program that is sponsored by our college, the College of Education. But it's only a small piece of Enrique's responsibility, but he does it with so much energy and so much commitment that you would think this is what he does full time. Enrique is a full professor, and Enrique is the director of our Doctor of Education degree program. So when he mentioned the success we have experienced as a college in moving the university to a Research 2 designation, which is a national recognition that says our university is doing great job among the faculty members writing their grants and research, but also among what happens in our College of Education doctoral program that Enrique is leading. We're able to produce about 20 doctorates each year. That is huge. And it honestly came as a surprise to us, because when we began to revamp things and move things around, we were hoping we can get our students to finish their program on time. We were not looking at R2 designation, but it came as a blessing accompanying hard work. So when Enrique said you will need to speak, I felt an honor to be part of this experience, and I'm really happy to be here to meet with you, to engage with you, and to share with you the good work that is going on in our college. Now, when LEAD, the Latino Education and Advocacy Days, was launched in this college about 11 years ago? 13 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. So the goal was for us to do something different from what universities usually do, to become more engaged, to address the issues of educational equity, academic achievement gaps, as well as very low high school graduation and college going rates among Latinos. The goal was for this movement to lead to accomplished goals in education. And I want to report that LEAD has made huge contributions, but also across the nation there has been progress in terms of college going, high school completion, as well as efforts to close the achievement gap. But while the progress has been ongoing, we continue to have very challenging issues of inequity across the nation. It is inequity that affects Latino kids as well as Latino educators. So as a college of education in a highly Latino community where, as our president said, it's a Latino serving institution, when I arrived here, part of the conversation was, what do we do to move this movement of equity forward? What do we do to address the problem of achievement gap? What do we do to address the problem of underrepresentation of minority, especially people of color, in the educational workforce? I would like to let you know that across the nation, there continues to be a gross underrepresentation of teachers of color in the K-12 schools across the nation. We clap because we notice it, but it's not a good thing. A recent study showed that Latino students actually make up 28% of the K-12 students across the United States. In California, they are 55.4% across California schools. Now, while the population of California Latino kids are growing in the schools, the number of Latino teachers don't seem to be growing in a comparable proportion. This is important to us because we are college of education. Producing teachers is what we do. You'll be surprised that in the last 30 years across the United States, minority teachers have only risen by 12% across the nation. Teachers of color represent only 20% of the workforce across the United States. Out of that 20%, Latinos make up only 9%. So one of the major initiatives we have launched as a college is what we call Project Impact. Project Impact was launched in the fall of 2019, and we recruited our first group of men into the program in the spring of 2020. Project Impact aims to recruit, to train, and to deploy into the K-12 classrooms African American and Hispanic men into the classroom. Why is that important? Because when we have these men in the classroom, their presence have direct impact on our upcoming young men and girls. They have role models. And research has also said that their presence makes a difference on how much students are able to stay in school. It has impact on their academic achievement. It has also impact on their high school completion rate and college going rate. Studies have shown all this. So as a college, we said we will do this. So we began this good work, and thanks to Robert Nava, our president, our vice president, who has helped us over the years. So I want to share with you that as a result of this, we are making inroads in recruiting Latino men into the teaching workforce. This fall, we have a class that is starting with 30 men for Project Impact. So let me just share a few numbers. It's like I'm going beyond my time. All right. So I'm going to just start by sharing with you some of the things that we have also done. Watson College of Education is one of the largest producers of teachers in this region. In the past 5 years, we have produced 1,000 Latino teachers for this region. We have also graduated 550 master's degree holders who are Latinos over that period. Our doctoral program has produced 31 doctorates who are Latinos. So we are working as a college to make an impact in this community. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so give us a couple of minutes to rotate, so hang on for a couple of minutes.
the camera's on.
Yeah.
All right. Your back is behind the scenes? Your back is behind the scenes?
It is.
There you go. Okay, everybody, we're ready. We need you to take your seats. Everybody, please find your seat. Okay, thank you. Welcome back. We need everybody to take their seats. Okay. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Judy Rodriguez Watson, who is Senior Vice President of the J.R. Watson and Associates Development Corporation, and our 2011 Lead Summit Madrina de Honor, who will do us the honor of introducing our 2022 Padrino and morning featured speaker. Before Madrina comes to the podium, we want to direct you to the large screens for a short clip. And then Madrinas, all yours.
Chicano art is art made by Chicanos, but what is a Chicano? The strict definition of as a Mexican American with a defiant political attitude. And that definition in itself is in the state of evolution, and how it affects and how it includes other cultures. Well, by definition, Chicano art is American art, and it's a voluntary category. You weren't born Chicano. There's no box you can check off on the Census Bureau. Chicano, you can check off Hispanic, even Mexican American, but Chicano is a voluntary category, and you have to declare yourself a Chicano in order to be one. So what's the message? We exist, we don't exist. We are part of it, we are not part of it. And so part of the Chicano movement was to declare that we are not only part of it, we are a main part of the American cultural landscape. And so I started playing on that, that voluntariness of outsider art. The gap in my art knowledge was contemporary art, and I didn't really know. I knew kind of names, but I didn't know contemporary art. Started going to galleries in LA, and that's where I discovered these Chicano painters. Right away, I realized these guys, these painters, guys and gals, are really good, because I'd seen good painting all my life. And wow, they can really put it on, It's like discovering a great saxophone player or guitar player. Like, wow, those guys, wow, these are cool. It's like, And that's what I started collecting. And then my addiction to collecting kicked in very quickly, and that was the perfect storm. Part of this process, the process of education, not kind of with a finger in your face, is here's what it does. And always the reaction is, oh, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I like this. It's like, I didn't know mayonnaise tasted like this. Well, I like mayonnaise. I'm gonna put this on everything, And that's the process, because you have to be introduced to it in order to. You can't just have a vague idea in your head and not really ever see the art, But it is, because all these Chicano artists are university and or art school trained, and they have they're exposed to world art as well as their Mexican background. It's the collusion of these aspects put together with American pop and world art that forms vision of what Chicano art is and how it expresses itself. It is, and is quintessentially as what we think of as Americans. If it was only the Americans that were born here of natural causes, then only Indians are Americans. Boy, art is the universal glue, that holds it together. A person standing in front of a painting in Bologna, Italy, is the same person as standing in front of a painting in Laramie, Wyoming. And that's, for all the art knowledge you can cram in your head and, history and techniques and all those things, it all comes to one point when you stand in front of an artwork and go, they have the same experience. Wow, is that cool? Because that's what art should do, isn't it? At some point I realized, why am I collecting all this art? I have enough art. And I started showing shows, and I realized that during the process that I'm collecting this art in order to share it with the people. And that's what I've been doing all this time. And art is the only thing we leave behind as a culture. The only thing. As far as I know, there's no museums dedicated to the art of the deal. Thousands of years later, people go to see the pyramids or the Mona Lisa, the Eiffel Tower, or Guernica, or go see a painting by Carlos Almaraz in the future. They will, because that's the glue that binds them together and that makes them feel like human beings. We have this in common. This is what binds us, and it shows our soul. People in the vast majority don't really know what a Chicano is, much less what their art looks like. They thought it's some, crispy cheese snack, little Chicanos. Oh, well, these are delicious, and the beer that goes with them. Let's go. In 2014, 50.6% of all children born in the United States were Latino. We have you surrounded, and we come in peace.
Hola, hola. Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome to Lead 11. Oh, I'll go like that. There you go. Good morning to all. Mi nombre es Judy Rodriguez Watson. Chicana. There you go. Toda chicana. That resounding theme of Si Se Puede moved me. The energy in the room was phenomenally electric. I know everybody felt it. And I'm sure the people viewing it felt it too. And yes, Si Se Puede, especially with my compadre, Enrique, as our leader, and the energy of our youth. Sí lo vamos a hacer. Yeah. A few years back, I was blessed to be asked by Professor Enrique Morello to be Lead's Madrina de Honor. This is an organization I am honored to be a part of. I view LEAD as an unending movement that is changing many lives, most particularly in informing, motivating, and educating the Latino community here in the United States and in 43 countries. With much appreciation, I would like to extend a big welcome to everyone to this year's LEAD Summit 11. 11. Wow. Sincerely, it is my distinct honor to introduce this year's Padrino de Honor. Our Padrino de Honor is Chich Marin. He is known... Oh, everybody knows him. He is best known as the half of the counterculture, historical, satirical duo of Los Famosos Cheech and Chong. Cheech Marin is an actor, director, writer, musician, art collector, and humanitarian. Enough talent to do just about anything. Cheech Marin has 6 gold albums, 4 Grammy nominations. Today, he's recognized as the preeminent Chicano art advocate. He has the finest private collection of Chicano art. His Riverside Art Museum, known as the Cheech Marin Center for Chicano Art, Culture, and Industry, will become the permanent home for his more than 700 works of Chicano art, which includes paintings, sculptures, and photography. Cooperatively, it is known as the most renowned Chicano art collection in the United States. If you are able, kindly, would you please stand to offer a big CSU SB welcome to our LEAD Summit Padrino de Honor, Cheech Marin. Gracias.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I just found out how to tell when you're at an official Chicano event. Is when the guy assigned to you to make sure that you don't get lost when he gets lost. Isn't he there with you? No, he's not. He's supposed to be. I know he's supposed to be, but he ain't here. And there's nobody here. And I don't know. I can't get any cell reception here, and the guy ain't here. And so maybe he's, what could he be doing? He's probably getting something to eat. Oh, yeah, well, okay. Chicano, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Thank you very much for inviting me here. It's been a long time. We were supposed to do this, almost 3 years ago? But here we are today, because you can't stop a Chicano who wants to get a paycheck, you know? It is indeed an honor and privilege. I am a product of the California State the college system. I went to Cal State Northridge. Before it was Cal State Northridge, it was Valley State College. We had cows in the pasture and stuff. You know, hay baling was a course, but I didn't graduate. I almost graduated. I went there for 4 years, and I was on my way to my last semester to take all the classes that I had put off for 4 years. You know that trip, Econ 101, statistics, you know, all the ones that you're dying to go to. And I was in line to get some of these classes to fill out my card. I just had a few more classes to take, and I would get my degree. And there was this young lady in the line next to me, and I had a class with her the year before. It's very cute, and she says, "Well, what are you taking?" I says, "Well, I don't know. I fill out this thing." She says, "Well, I'm going to take pottery. Why don't you take it with me?" Okay. And that was my art education introduction, you know, because I knew I was an artist of some kind. I just didn't have a medium. But I knew I was an artist, and eventually it would dawn on me what I was doing. And so I took that pottery class, and it changed my life. It changed my life. I quit all my other classes, I quit my job, and devoted myself exclusively to pottery, and that's what I did. I went up to Canada, and I was a professional potter for the next 3 years. I was an assistant to a very famous potter, Edra Hanchuk, who had won the Bicentennial Exhibition Award the year I got there. And I spent the next couple of years in the foothills of the Rockies making pottery. And it was then that my Mexican genes came exploding out, man, making pottery, okay. Get on the wheel, we need cups, come on, Vato, let's go, man, you know. We've been waiting for you, and that informed but I was educated in art before because of a group of cousins I had. There was 4 of us, and we were all bright kids, and we went to Catholic school and had a liberal arts education, but we wanted to do more. And the head cousin, my cousin Louis, who was a brilliant, this guy got a scholarship to every school he ever went to, starting with grade school. Grade school, junior high, high school, college, went to the University of Tokyo. And so he, at a very early age, he gathered us together in a little group. He says, we're going to do extra stuff. We're going to do, I guess, the equivalent of like AP classes. And so I'm going to assign you different topics, and you go find out about that topic, and you bring it back to the group, and we'll all be educated in that manner. Okay, cool. I was 11. Okay, Louis, I would do anything, he said. And so he assigned a Regine, and my cousin Regine Castro. He says, Regine, you go learn about Middle Ages and bring it back to the group. And Regine eventually went on to become the first recipient of a doctorate in Chicano Studies from Harvard University. So... And then Lolly, you learn about music, classical music, and you bring it back to the group. She went on to be a nun, being the head of her order. And Cheech, you learn about art, and I was the youngest of the group. You learn about art and bring. Well, what do you know about art when you're 11? I can draw a little bit, you know, like a stick figure. That's todo. And so what do? I went to the library. The library in whatever town I was, and took out all their. I didn't take them out; they wouldn't let you take them out. But they brought all the art books to me, and they opened up for me with white gloves on, because these are precious documents. And oh, that's Picasso, is that how you spell? Okay, and that's Caravaggio, and that's Degas. And so in that manner, I learned all about Western art week after week, Saturday after Saturday. So by the time I was 12, I pretty much knew Western art. And so, congruent with that, I started going to museums, because you have to see paintings in person. You have to, because that's the only way to get the full benefit of it, because paint is such a wonderful medium. It has 1,000 different expressions, so you have to go to them to see them live. So I started doing that, and just 2 days ago, I was initiated as a member of the board of directors of LACMA, Los Angeles. In addition to all the stuff, and they, and I started going to that museum when I was in the second grade. I was one of those little kids with the same colored T-shirt, holding hands and going through there from a disadvantaged inner city, South Central Trinity Street School. I don't know if anybody ever went there. Nobody. Okay. Our education system at work. and so I learned about art that way, and it was intriguing to me. The first time I ever went to a museum and I looked at the paintings, I said, this looks like the ceiling of my church. Guys run in sheets walking around in the clouds, and why are they barbecuing that guy in the corner, Right away, I was attracted, and so I learned about it. But the big gap in my knowledge was contemporary art, and I knew some names, but I didn't know really what the art looked like, or how it progressed, or how it came to be where it was. And I was married to a painter at that time, and she started taking me to contemporary galleries where they were showing that kind of art. And so I went, and that's where I first discovered these Chicano painters. They had already been discovered. They were out there. They were doing shows, but not on a great scale. And I had never seen them. So, and I looked at their paintings, and I recognized what they were, because they were built upon the foundations of other Western art that I had been studying all my life. And it's like, when you hear the Beatles for the first time, you recognize what they were doing in their first early days. Oh, that's Chuck Berry, and that's Carl Perkins, and that's Everly Brothers, and all those, but told in English with an English accent and with English rhythm in a different kind of way. And that's what I saw when I saw these Chicano painters, is they were doing classical stuff, but in a Chicano version, which essentially changed it, and they kept incorporating everything that went in front of them into the art that they were doing now. And that is really the Chicano experiences I've come to find out, because for me, Chicano, you work all your life to be, or your young life to be a Chicano, and this, and everything is Chicano, and then you get to the point where you're a Chicanosaurus, and so, it's not Chicano anymore. It's Latinx. Is that what it's called? Whatever, But it's all built on the same inspiration. It's the same inspiration that informs Chicano, Latinx, Latinx, whatever it is. It's description of culture. It's description of culture in a myriad of different formats and a myriad of different expressions, whether it be religious or gender-based or abstract even space, and how they form the